Okay, sorry about the interruption. My mom called me. So with a dry sump oil system, picking up where we left off, it offers, yeah, there we go, several advantages. But the problem is with most things in the car world, there's no disadvantages. But the only disadvantage is that it's more expensive, more money, because you have to have two oil pumps and a more heavy-duty oil filter and a more heavy-duty second pump because it's deeper in the oil. So if you because oil sits so low in the reservoir, you could actually raise this up so the engine's shorter, which means you could mount it lower to the ground. And in performance aspects, having a lower center of gravity is better for cornering and going fast. And if you have and some don't have just one oil tank or oil reservoir, they have like three, four. Like I watched a YouTube video of a guy doing the oil change on a Bugatti, and there's like four oil tanks with like 24 oil plugs, and it's crazy. But other than that, it's pretty much the same. There's the same cascade that drops it back down. And now we're going to talk about one of the, let me grab my paper towel. Another performance advantage of this. So I'm going to draw an engine from the front here. So if you think about it, imagine if you have a car and you have like a gallon of water. It's not all the way full. And if it's sitting there and you turn to one side, what happens? It sloshes all to one side. So something that'll happen in a wet sump oil system is that if you're trying to go fast around a corner, a lot of it will all slosh to this side, and the oil pump, which is like right here, won't be able to pick up enough of it to properly lubricate your engine. If you're going around that corner, if it's like a longer sweeping corner or something like that, or you end up like tilted around a banked turn at some point, you might not have your oil pump picking up oil and it's just sucking air into there, which isn't good for lubrication or cooling. And it's bad for your weight distribution, which is another important thing in everyday engine life. So that is a disadvantage of that, because the pump is sitting at the bottom deep in the oil, and a lot of times there's multiple ones, so there's not even need. So if one is sloshing to one side, the other on the other side is not. So that's your main advantage of dry oil systems. So now we're going to talk about some types of oil and what they mean. So if you go to the store, there will be a bunch of different types of oils. There will be like composite and synthetics. Now composite is made of like regular oil that you pump out of the ground. I just did. Okay, so it comes from oil from the ground and it's refined into motor oil. Now, the more common type is synthetic oil, and this comes from like different things like natural gas and more environmentally friendly stuff, which is one of the reasons it's more common. And also it's kind of better because you can give it different qualities depending on your needs. And the way you tell it if they rate oil is like this right here. Oh, it's backwards. Okay, so for example, like so the viscosity of something is how easily a liquid flows. So something with a high viscosity doesn't like to flow. So honey would have a viscosity in the hundreds, whereas water would be in like the tens. So engine oils have a rating with two numbers, like it's 0W-40. So the 0 or the lower number is what the viscosity is at normal temperature, and the higher one is what the viscosity is at lower temperature. Both those are important because if your engine's dry or cold, or once it gets to winter, you're gonna want maybe a heavy oil depending on what vehicle you have, or a lighter one. Like a lot of new vehicles have 0-10 because they need a lighter flowing oil, but like an older vehicle like mine needs a heavier oil. because it moves, everything in there just moves slower because mine doesn't rev as high. And that's the general gist of oil. So yeah.